You're watching CBC Television in Calgary, Channel 9, Cable 6.
Tonight on CBC Alberta News at 11, the Alberta Legislature starts a new session. More on the avalanche that killed 9 skiers. And in sports, the Flames and the Kings continue their battle for first in the Smythe. Thank you for joining us tonight. Well, as you've probably seen on the National and the Journal, Kurt Browning has done it again.
Tonight on the Sunday edition of the CBC Alberta News, the Old West and the wrangle over who should pay to preserve the heritage. Cold, slimy beasties, which aren't so beastly after all. And in sports, the new look Oilers take on those other guys. Good evening. Cutbacks and new sources of revenue. Sounds like a speech from the throne.
CBC Alberta News. From Edmonton, Bob Chelman. From Calgary, Brenda Finley.
Tonight, the scandal widens as more Alberta charities report missing funds.
Fighting deportation. This mentally ill man insists he's a refugee.
A landmark Alberta radio station pulls the plug.
And they struck, they scored. A huge pay hike for referees. Good evening. The controversial issue of refugees seeking safe haven in Canada.
Calgary, this is your news.
Tonight, a Calgary mother and baby stranded in the U.S. after a premature birth. Calgary police could replace the Mounties at the airport. And the dangers of helicopter flying in the Rockies.
CBC Calgary News with Bob Nicholson.
Good evening, Calgary. It's great to be back. In our top story tonight,
from CBC News, Canada Now.
I'm Doug Dirks, and this is a CBC Calgary news break. A 30-year-old man was killed today when his truck was hit by a C train at the intersection of Memorial Drive and 28th Street Southeast.
An about-face by the IOC. It decides to allow women ski jumping. With the green light, does Calgary have adequate facilities for them to train here? After 2 significant fires in our city started by cigarettes in planters, CBC puts the danger to the test. The fire department gives us a look at what can happen. A new apartment building just for women who have no place to go. What this will do to help a growing problem in our city. Good evening. A victory today for some Calgary athletes. The International Olympic Committee approved several sports for the Games in Sochi, and among them,
expect a slower commute on a busy Calgary road tomorrow morning. The city says the westbound lanes of Glenmore Trail will likely remain closed early Friday as crews repair a water main break. A 2-way detour has been set up in the eastbound lanes. Now, here's what else we are covering tonight. Our premier continuing to face backlash tonight for
hundreds, thousands of people lost their jobs, lost their homes, and it's been tough.
Our Aaron Collins is riding along with some colorful characters as that convoy continues to roll toward Ottawa in support of Alberta's energy sector and in frustration with the federal government. I'll bring that story your way straight ahead. And speaking of the feds, the Prime Minister is addressing the SNC-Lavalin allegations in a bit more detail today, as that scandal won't go away. Julie Van Dusen will join us from the Capitol with the details. Plus,
across the nation, tens of thousands of young athletes are training for their chance to compete in the 2019 Canada Winter Games.
Those games are about to kick off in Red Deer. We'll take you there live. And are you sick of the cold and snow? We're going to meet some Calgarians who don't mind it at all. It's 6 o'clock.
This is CBC Calgary News.
Good evening, I'm Rob Brown in the CBC Calgary studio. Welcome our top story tonight.
Good evening, I'm Shannon Scott. Welcome to CBC Calgary News at 11. Here are some of the stories we'll have for you on this Thursday, October the 27th. After 12 years...
This is CBC Alberta News.
Good evening, I'm Alicia Asquith. It's been an emotional roller coaster of a weekend for the friends and family of Edmonton's most recent homicide victim.
This is CBC Calgary News.
Good evening, I'm Rob Brown in the CBC Calgary studio. Some chilling first-hand accounts are now emerging from that killing spree in Nova Scotia.
This is CBC Calgary News.
Good evening, I'm Shannon Scott. It's the vaccine that many people are most eager to get because you only need one dose.
This is CBC Alberta News.
Good evening, I'm Alicia Asquith. Thanks for joining us tonight. Ahead of International Women's Day, Edmontonians gathered across the city today to show their support for the women working on the front lines of this pandemic.
When Calgary meets the world this February, Olympic sports coverage will be easy to find.
But to make informed decisions on everyday social problems or Olympic background issues, you need real news.
Including a daily accurate weather forecast.
And sporting information on a professional level.
Plus national and international news.
And that's where the News Hour comes in. Because when the world's eyes turn to Calgary, you can count on us to keep a Calgary eye on the world. The Calgary News Hour. Gold medal news.